So the reason why we thought we would get on here is to kind of share Tiffany's, experience with the 10-day plus. And so here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. So Tiff, what do you think? I mean, we haven't prepared for this or anything like that,
Okay.
and rarely, will I ever, prepare. I just speak from the heart, and I think Tiffany would agree it's the best way to go, really.
Yep, absolutely.
So do you think that the best way to kind of start would be to share some of your story, with people?
Sure. Where do you want me to start from?
Well, just, like with your eating and, as deep as you want to go, but I think, like with your eating, how your stomach was affected or how you were affected by the foods and you really didn't know and you tried all these different things, blah, blah, blah.
All right. Well, what we'll start June 5th. It was actually my 41st birthday. And I had ate like a jerk up until that point. I mean, I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. Donuts, jalapenos, donuts covered in jalapenos. It didn't matter. And it didn't seem to affect my stomach at all. And then probably about 2 years ago, I started getting a little like, what is going on? And I just attributed it to age. And then it got really bad. I'd started dating my husband, then my boyfriend, and he literally ate like chicken and broccoli and rice, and that's what he ate on a daily basis. So that's what I was eating. And then my stomach started getting insane. They thought it was my gallbladder. I had my gallbladder removed, which I'm not sure that that's what it was now. But then so I just went back to eating donuts and jalapenos, and I put on like 40 pounds in about 3 months. And then on my 41st birthday, I went to the gym with my daughter for the first time, and I started lifting, and she gave me some good, solid advice. She eats clean, and she tries to stray away from processed, and it works for her. She's beautiful. She's 23. She has great, big, huge, throbbing muscles. It did not work for me. I was in pain all the time, constantly. I was horribly constipated. This may be TMI for some of your viewers.
Oh, I think it's important to share, though.
I was horribly constipated. I was just in pain all the time, and I would eat for a week like that, and then it just got to be so painful and so just disheartening that I would go back to donuts and French fries. And that's been my cycle since June the 5th of last year. And I was getting a good, solid advice. I mean, eating clean and, but all of the things that my daughter was eating and some other people from Facebook and all of the stuff that they were eating was killing me, and it just wasn't working for me. And then I was on a Facebook page, and actually Bonnie, hey Bonnie, Bonnie had really just suggested that I talk to Robyne. So she was going to do this 10-day plus program. And I was like, yeah, what the heck? I mean, at this point, I had really just started to resign myself to the fact that I was just going to be fat and miserable for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but like in the beginning, though, you were like, I don't know, because it was just another one of those programs.
Yeah. I mean, I just felt like I had tried everything. I mean, my gosh, I tried to eat clean and healthy, and I'd done what you're supposed to do, and it didn't work for me. So I was like, whatever, another thing. I was really just at the end of my rope. And then Bonnie had really, and I trusted what Bonnie was saying. We'd had enough of a rapport, and she had enough knowledge that I trusted what she was saying. So, and she really started to push hard. She's like, I think you should do this. She knew all about my tummy issues. She's like, this is a great opportunity. Like, Robyne's kind of a big deal, and I think she's a genius, and all of this stuff. And I was like, I'll give it a try, because I was just desperate. Like, I was just so desperate to not be in pain. And that's exactly what I found. So
Yeah, it's a
that's
drag though too. You know what I mean? All the stuff that's out there on the market. And, I mean, and that's the thing too, where I really like what I have is because I'm kind of a rebel. I'm not going to follow what all these experts say to do,
right.
because this
Hmm.
stuff changes every day anyway. And
Yeah.
when I started getting involved with this stuff, I was really young. And so, I wasn't old enough to have issues at that point.
Right.
And so when I did start to compete and everything, I already kind of had this backbone about how I wanted to eat. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to enjoy my foods. But when I entered into that first bodybuilding show, teenage show, everybody was walking around eating these rice cakes and baby food and all this. I'm like, no, their cheeks all sunk in. And I'm like, what the heck? I can't do this. So I didn't want to not compete. So I went to like the restaurant and had this huge apple fritter. I mean, huge. And I had a bunch of syrup on it and stuff because I knew I could get away with it. I knew I couldn't get away with it if I ate like that all the time. But I knew
Right.
I could get away with it that day. And so I ended up winning that show. And every show that I entered, I followed that kind of routine and I won every show. So it's, what I'm trying to say is that it's not about what these other people say, who are
Right.
succeeding, those before and after photos. Wow, I want to be like that. And then you try, not you per se, but just in general, go to try because that's an inspiring before and after photo, right?
Right.
And then you end up feeling like crap about yourself because why isn't it working for me? Am I
Right.
a loser? Am I this? Am I that? And then you get confused. What is wrong? Can I not lose the weight? Am I going to be like this forever? Am I going to get unhealthy? Am I going to have a stroke? Am I going to be around for my kids? I mean, it doesn't stop, and it really
Yeah.
truly doesn't have to be that way. I mean, the key behind no matter what it is learning how to work with who you are as you're finding,
Yeah.
So tell us, okay, let's go to the next step. So you entered into the program, and what do you think?
I entered into the program and I was nervous, of course. I wasn't sure what it was going to be, if I was going to be able to do it. I have 7 kids, 4 of whom live in the house.
Wow.
I'm super crazy busy. All of the kids are involved in sports. We have horses and FFA and football and basketball, all of this stuff. And I just don't have time to dink around too much. So I
No.
thought you don't know how I'm going to be
That's
able to
a
do it.
lot.
Yeah.
God
So,
bless. Yeah.
yeah. So, and I also work part-time and I have a house cleaning business on the side. So, I wasn't sure how I was going to do this, but, that first day was so super easy for me. I mean, all of the grocery shopping videos and getting those first couple of days prepped and ready to go was super, super helpful. I had everything in the house that I needed. So that first day was super, super easy. And starting on a high day was really good for me. I think, hopping from donuts and jalapenos into a low day might have been a little bit scary for me, but it was so easy. And
What was easy? Like the foods, and it just felt comfortable?
yeah,
It
it
just,
felt super comfortable right from the
yeah.
start. And that very first day, I woke up and I started eating from my plan, what I had planned out for the first. I think I'd done like a 3-day plan to start with.
Hmm.
What I
That's
planned out,
smart. That's cool.
yeah, what I'd planned out for the first 3 days, no pain from that very first day. So that was it. I was in. I was like, whatever she's got going on here is working, and it's working for me.
Okay, so that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And then until we got to the BS, the Brussels sprouts, but that was what, like 3 days into the program, and
Yeah.
I'd been completely pain free up until that point. So I ate those Brussels sprouts. I was like, and they hit me, and they were not for me. And I will stay as far away from Brussels sprouts as I can for the rest of my life. They did not work for me, but I knew it immediately. There was no question in my head about whether it was the donuts or the grease or whatever it was during the day, because I'd stuck to the plan. So I
Right.
knew what I'd added in was the Brussels sprouts, and they aren't for me. So
Right.
that was it. That lasted probably, I mean, that upset tummy from that lasted probably like what, 30 hours. It was a while,
Good.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So,
see, who would have ever guessed? I mean, they're telling you Brussels sprouts are healthy.
right. Yes.
I mean, what the heck? All right, let me eat some BS, right?
Yeah. Well, and two, before I started with you, everybody is eating quinoa in everything every day. And so that's what
Right.
I was doing. I was eating quinoa, and there was something in the back of my mind that was like, this is part of what your tummy issues is. And I'm like, no, it's
Right.
freaking healthy. I rinse them off before I cook them. Like, these are for me. And I haven't tried to add them back in yet. And, I probably won't until the REL, but,
Right.
but I don't, they're probably not for me, but that's, just doing what everybody else says is supposed to be healthy is not necessarily the best plan for me. So,
Right. And you don't really realize it until you get that, option to focus on that.
right.
And that's what, the 10-day plus is. It's about getting your body in optimal order by learning what foods work best for you. There's a basic
Yeah.
program with a lot of food. I mean, there's an awful lot of food on the system,
Yeah. Oh,
and then
yeah.
what you're saying, it's all about paying attention to what foods work best for you. Do you remember, I wish Linda was on here, the recipe, girl?
Oh, yeah.
And do you remember the post where we went grocery shopping in the
Yeah.
group? Wow, that was mad, And that's what she's learning. She's like, wow. I'm like, wait a minute. Do you not recognize? I mean, everything that you're pulling has this rice. And we need to, according to what I'm seeing and what you're saying about your body, we need to avoid the rice. But everything that you're picking up has rice as an ingredient. And you guys, there was one or not a recipe, but a food item that she had picked up. And the one thing that she said was, hey, this is a canola oil free product.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, awesome. But I go, can you take a picture of the back? I can see the ingredients. And where's the first ingredient?
Yeah, canola oil.
Canola oil. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a lot of things that really we need to kind of learn, but they're simple things, and when we really take for, what these people say as the ultimate, the thing on the front of the container, it's this. And we never really look at the back to see, is it really that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How they get away with it, I have no clue, and there's so much to be said about it, but the number one thing really, and I think, isn't it fun? I mean, to learn this stuff?
Yeah.
It really is.
It absolutely is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, generally when people talk about diet, they're headed for the hills for a couple months or years, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's hard to get it going, but with this, I really like it myself,
Yeah, this has been probably the easiest thing that I've done ever,
Right.
and the most productive that I've done ever.
That's cool. And so do you think it's something that's sustainable, something that's livable that you can follow pretty much for the rest of your life?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
The concept?
I don't think there's going to be any problems whatsoever.
That's cool. So what was
I mean, I get fudgesicles every day, so.
They're good fudgesicles. And then once we get going, though, we're going to start adding in different things, too.
Right.
So you'll be able, like I've always said, people were always confused when I said this years ago, but I would always say, is it the Kit Kat or the cheesecake? And they're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But I bet you if I had a white hat and a white coat, with a badge on me or something, it might. But
right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So what was your success with the weight loss within that 10 days?
8 pounds.
Yeah. And that was through the holidays.
Yes, that was, Christmas Eve was the last day of my first 10 days, and I'd lost 8 pounds. And I didn't eat like a jerk. And I am a jerk eater. That's what I do. And especially the holidays, I've always felt justified. And then, I mean, I would go home and feel horrible about myself because I just felt like I'd let food get the best of me again.
Right.
And this year I didn't do it. I went to my parents' house for Christmas Eve, and that's our normal family thing on Christmas Eve. And there were like 8 desserts. And I'd asked my mom to make me one angel food cake. She's a baker, bless her heart.
Gotta love bakers, boy.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'd asked her to make me one dessert, and she did, and I ate that, and I felt okay. Like I had tasted just a little bite of almost everything for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
They were all, fairly acceptable within the list of foods that we had. So I tasted everything I wanted to taste and ate my dessert, and I didn't miss anything else. And I came home and I didn't feel, there was no guilt, no shame. No, I didn't wake up feeling like carb hungover the next morning. So.
And it's because that focus is different. And
Yeah.
I believe, and don't you think, instead of like these other programs out there, I don't want to keep comparing this, but I have to, right?
Yeah.
But it's like all these other programs, be like them, do what they do, be like them, do what they do. But I think by watching this play out for over 40 years, to me, I'm convinced that the society is structured where it encourages people to want to cheat. It's just point blank. That's where the money making is, but when you tap into self, and it doesn't have to be like you have to be this crazy professor from hell or this jerk or bitch to everybody. It's quite opposite. It's calming, it's relaxing. But when you do connect with yourself, there's a whole different mindset and a whole different focus.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is probably the first time that I don't feel like I'm denying myself anything.
Right.
Like I know that, I mean, just like with those Brussels sprouts, I like Brussels sprouts. I had no problem with Brussels sprouts, but I was just saying, so I didn't know that they were causing me pain. But I just don't. They just don't work for me, and that's okay. No biggie.
Remember, that's what's weird too, because I used to love Brussels sprouts. Cooked fresh, cooked with wine or vinegars, and you name it, cold, hot. But something happened about 20 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the growers, maybe the seeds, maybe the rainwater. Heck, I don't know. But I can't eat Brussels sprouts anymore. Yeah. And this is why this is really good to have this mindset and the know-how, because what might work today in 10 years,
right.
It might not. But the thing is that mindset there, so you can say, okay, wait, there's something not right with this.
Yeah.
Let me back off of it. And that's the key. In order to have effective weight loss, which we really haven't even said up to this point during this video, is that in order to have effective weight loss, even to build muscle, you need an effective body at work.
Yeah.
So if we're consuming what all the experts and what we're inspired by to tell us, that's not going to really, if we're finding that those foods work against us, how are we going to expect optimal thoughts, optimal weight loss success, optimal, nice, beautiful body? You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's another important reason why to work with self, because then you're going to get your body in optimal order. Your metabolism is going to fly through the roof because you're learning to work with who you are.
Yeah. Right.
So, what would you have to say to, people that would like to learn more about the 10-day class?
Yeah, I mean, I've been running around Facebook telling everybody. So, I mean, I can't say enough good things. I mean, just getting out of my tummy issues was enough for me. And then the weight loss on top of it, I literally, actually, I did take a nap on Christmas Day, but only because I'd been up until like midnight getting Christmas presents ready. But man, I was just exhausted, and I was tired, and I was cranky, and I was just such a psycho to my kids. They were, I mean, there's so many of them. They outnumber me. So I was just like, we got to get things done.
Right.
And in this last, it's been almost 2 weeks now. It's just, I am calmer. I am more patient. I mean, I know it sounds psychotic from 10 days of eating different, but I mean, literally my whole outlook on everything has changed. Everything. Like just being able to slow down and listen to my body about what I eat has changed everything.
That's amazing. I mean, that's beautiful, don't you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And it I don't want to like to use the word shackles, but it kind of, like the shackles have been broke open, free, you're free.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I said. I think 5 or 6 days in, I was like, I just feel like I have my life back. I'm not
That's
compulsive
awesome,
about
man.
food. I'm not obsessed about food. I don't, I mean, the pain is gone. I just feel like I'm consuming less. I'm less. It's just, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's just so much less compulsive for me. And I don't think that I've been anything but compulsive for probably 20 years. So that in itself is my miracle.
You know me, though, there's so much I could say about all of this,
Yeah.
there truly is, but I'll spare everybody that. But I mean, I will say that the value of self far outweighs what other people think, what other people are doing. Just because you're doing for self doesn't mean that you're not giving to other people. In fact, you're giving more by giving to yourself, because the bottom line is you can't give what you don't have. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just amazing. And I'm happy, for the opportunity to share and to see your success and everything. I mean, life doesn't get much better than that on both ends.
No. No, it doesn't. That's, yeah. I can't thank you enough. I really just feel like I have been handed my life back, and it's mine. And I can do what works for me now.
That's awesome. You're a blessing. You always have been. You're just now seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Tiffany.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate working with you, and I appreciate you, just even going out of your way to come on here live and tell people your story and share that with them too.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I think it's important for other people to hear, because there's so many things out there,
Yep.
So, yeah. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you in the group and talking with you and continuing on, because we're doing additional work and stuff. So, yeah.
Yep. You've got me for a few months, or I've got you.
Together we move forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Many hugs to you. Many blessings. Love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.